What's up, YouTube? Scott Skynet Tradition back with another video. I'm going to go through a couple more pickups I got in over the last week. Really excited to get a few of these cards in. Some of them I had my eyes on for a long time. Still have the Don Hudson Wheaties there in the back, and absolutely still loving that pickup. The first one we'll talk about is this one. This is the Championship Moments card of Giannis from NBA Hoops, and you can see this one's numbered out of 99. They did a whole set of these, as they do every year for the championship team, with a player holding the trophy, or maybe even a couple trophies if they've won multiple championships. But this was just a card I had to have. It was such an amazing time to watch the Bucks last year and to see them win the championship with Giannis being a big part of that. I have considered doing this whole set. There is a number of other cards to get. Each one of the players has a card like this. This is probably the most expensive one, obviously, the Giannis. It talks about his legendary performance, and he tied Bob Pettit, who in 1958 for the most points in a finals clinching win in NBA history when he scored 50 points, adding 14 rebounds and 5 blocks. And of course, he ran away with the finals MVP honors that year as well. So just an awesome player and such a fun experience as a Bucks fan to be a part of that. So I actually got a really good deal on that card, won that in an auction. There were other ones, that went for even a couple $100 higher than that, as recent as just about two plus months ago. So did really well on that card there. And then these other two ended up, I wouldn't say necessarily got deals on them. I definitely paid up for them. These are cards that I felt had, really decent eye appeal for the grade, and they're cards that I've had my eyes on for a while. The first one is this one. This is the 67 Topps Mets rookies with Bill Dennehy and Tom Seaver. The Tom Seaver rookie card, always an expensive card in our hobby. It's always just been one of those upper echelon cards. The total pop for this card is about 3,500. So there's been about 3,500 graded, which is actually quite a bit. And that just kind of goes to show you how much more football cards there are than how many more baseball cards there are than football cards that are graded. As I'll talk about kind of with the next card that I show. But yeah, 3,500 is a fairly healthy number, but there's just such a high demand for Tom Seaver. I think he just meant a lot to so many Mets fans. He basically was the team back in the late 60s and early 70s. His nickname was the franchise because he basically was the franchise. And they kind of started and stopped with Tom Seaver. This card has really decent centering. No print defects or anything like that. So just a really nice example of the card. This one is graded a 6. And take a good look at the back. The back centering is something that's usually a problem with this card too, and this one looks pretty good. So definitely a big card to knock off the list. This is also part of the top 250 in the hobby set, so that takes care of that set registry for me. I don't know if I'm currently trying to complete that set anymore, but I am tending to focus still on some of the classic cards that are in that set. I just don't necessarily have the need to buy or the desire to buy some of the 1980s and 90s rookies that are in that set, but I do like a lot of the classic cards that are in there. So happy to grab the Seaver, and then here's the last pickup I have, the 1950 Bowman Otto Graham rookie, and this is a big card for football cards. This card across all grades is about pop 870 from my count in PSA, so that's not like a super high number. I mean, you're talking about a top maybe 5, top 7. I think NFL had him ranked as their 5th top quarterback of all time, largely based on his accolades. So to get a card of that nature for, in your total pops only 870, it just goes to show the difference between football in the 50s and you got baseball in the 60s. The pop across all grades for that card is about 3,500. For this one, it's about 870. So we're talking not even a quarter of the amount of Otto Grahams graded. as Tom Seaver's, but yet Otto Graham was just as important to his sport. He played for the Browns for about 10 years, and what's crazy is he made the championship game all 10 of those years that he played, and he won 7 championships when he played. I think like the Browns winning percentage over that time was like 10, like 115 and 14 or something like that. So they won a lot of games. And of course, this one was just a beautiful looking example. Awesome centering, sharp corners, great looking image on the front. It did receive a high grade by PWCC. This actually went in an auction earlier this year and then was recently resold as a part of PWCC. Same card, same grade. So, but I had the opportunity to grab it for a decent price. Was actually pretty happy with what I got this for. It was a fair price, I think, considering the eye appeal of the card. Just a beautiful example of Otto Graham's rookie card. So I'm really happy to have that one. I love the 50 Bowman set too, just with the simple portrait on the front and no writing at all. So love that. Love that card. Just get a quick look at the back here. Beautiful card. All right, so that is it for pickups. Again, three pretty big cards, especially the Graham and the Tom Seaver. So probably going to take a little bit of break from picking up stuff from a while, but was really excited to have a couple mail days to share with you as of late. Another kind of interesting point of interest is on eBay right now, a 1959 Topps Jerry Kramer rookie card just showed up in the grade of a 10. So it appears that another one was graded at some point. Of course, I have a PSA 10 as well in my collection. And the last one that sold would have been the other PSA 10. It sold back in January of 2017. Sold for just shy of 12K. I think it was like 11.8, I think is what it sold for. And what's interesting is that one sold at Memory Lane, and it sold before Jerry Kramer was even inducted into the Hall of Fame. So before he was even named. So we didn't even know Jerry Kramer was a Hall of Famer. He had gone so many years without getting in the Hall of Fame. I think a lot of people had just kind of given up on him getting into the Hall of Fame. But he was finally named, and rightfully so. Well, I think it was either later that 2017 or 2018. So it's really going to be interesting to follow along with this card and just kind of see what it goes for. The one that I have, it's long been probably the toughest card in my collection to value. There's only been the one sale, and it was back in 2017 before he was a Hall of Famer. And of course, now he is a Hall of Famer, so you'd think that would bring the value up a little bit. And also, the market has come way up on high grade vintage since 2017, so that'll help it a little more. What might hurt it is that now it's Pop 3 instead of only Pop 2, so obviously there's probably one less buyer at least out there that already has that other 10 in their collection. And also, it is at, on an eBay auction. 4 Sharp Corners is doing the auction, so it's not in an auction house like the first one was with Memory Lane. So we'll see how that affects the price overall as well. But it'll be fun to follow along for myself, obviously, because I have one of the 3. So just thought that was interesting. Other than that, we got football season right around the corner. Just had my fantasy draft last night. Think I did okay. So really excited about football season coming up around the corner. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.